Can you successfully day trade with $2,500? Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm trying to learn. I've been learning the hard way, but I am kind of figuring out. So if you're kind of new to day trading or you have a small account, I'll talk about the trades that I'm making, the progress that I'm making, how I avoid things like the PDT rule. So many people ask me about the PDT rule, why I'm trading supply and demand, and really how I'm feeling at the end of Q1. Right? I've had my ups, my downs. I've been messing with some swing trades, but now just primarily focus on day trading. No more swings, no more leaps inside the trading portfolio. Let's dive in right away and check it out. So first I'm gonna use my phone, guys, because the app on Webull is just a little bit easier to use. This is what I've been using for trading, and I really, really like it. I like all the charts about it. I do have other charts that I use, but I'll explain that when we get to it. Right now you can see the account size is 33.79. I had a really, really nice day on Friday, and I actually doubled my account. If we come down and check this out, well, first for the year, let's look at the year so far. January and February, a lot of those really were leaps. I'm not going to be the guy that's like, just day trading, I'm doing really, really well, right? It is my overall account. But March is really the first month that I've actually just been day trading, and we could see a much different. I'm still down. I have no problem saying that I'm down, guys. This is market tuition. I'm learning, and I've said in other videos that my goal at the end of Q1 was to be like not down too much, like not blow up my count, right? Day trading is all about survival until the next day. So I'm doing that right now, and I'm very, very happy with what March has really looked like. If I went to like February, we can see February of 2022, not great. A lot more red than green, and the reds were some of my big reds. Like I lost a K on the 9th, another 500 on, it's been bad, okay? But this month in March, things are starting really to get a little bit more consistent. And I could talk about that consistency, but like I said, we could see on the 18th, I had a $977 trade, which I'm going to fully break down and tell you like, was I lucky on that? I don't think I was. I stuck to my plan. I'll show you I wrote down my plan before the end of the day, so you don't think I'm just getting on here and telling you about my goods and my bads, but I still have had a couple of blow-ups, right? On the 2nd, I had a blow-up for 790, and on the 10th, 613. One thing I really want you to notice on that week of the 14th through the 18th, no blowups. And I talked in the Discord, I was like, guys, my goal this week is no blowups. I do not want to have any blowups. I'm going to have more disciplined stops, and it is okay to re-enter. And I did that, and look at what happened. Just from disciplined stops and risk management. Also, last week, I will say I went in with less contracts. I've been opening for like 3 to 4 contracts, but I started entering with 1. And then instead of adding to losers like I had been doing to try and average down, I started adding to winners. And I started adding contracts when my plan actually went to plan. Like I would enter, if things started to set up nice and I got a little bit into the green, I would add then. And that's really what happened on Friday. I layered in and then I layered out profits and things were just awesome. So really it says like my P&L for the last 5 days. That's really just Friday and Monday because today didn't suck. I got in a couple bucks as well. But now let's talk about what that $1,000 trade is. But before we do that, I want to point out why and how I'm avoiding the PDT rule. We can see on my account I have settled cash, $73. Unsettled cash, $28.58. Guys, this is a cash account on Webull. This is not a margin account. So if you're trading on a cash account, you avoid the PDT rule because you could only trade with settled funds. So that means that I had $2,800 or so that I could place my options plays with, and I could day trade with those. Now, if I play a couple and I get stopped out right away, that's it for the day for me. I actually kind of like it. A, I'm avoiding margin, which is risk. B, it really makes me settle in and pick my trades really, really well because I'm afraid of wasting money for that day. I'm trading options here, guys. That's another great thing with options. They settle overnight. So I'm getting reset every single night. Right now I have 73. Tomorrow I'm going to have 29 and change that I can work with. Where stocks, I think it takes 2 days to settle out. But for me, I can settle every single night. So I go through, I trade for the day, and then the next day I have all my buying power back. And that's simply how I'm avoiding the PDT rule. Another way you could avoid the PDT rule is trade futures, which I actually chart futures. So that might be something that I'm thinking about into the future. If you want me to trade futures in the future, get down in the comments and let me know that you're interested. And I'll get more into different options for futures trading and how that also avoids the PDT rule. But now let's go down, let's look at the charts, and let's talk more about the trades. First, I want to draw your attention to the Discord, and I'm not posting this to flex. It's not my style, like, look at me, I was right. This is just because I know there's going to be people out there that are like, easy to say after the fact. I just want to show you that I had this up beforehand, okay? I said in the pre-market, we're talking in the Discord, guys, we are a group of wolves that are going out and hunting the market together. I said to them, I personally do not think that the supply will hold. Guys, I'm trading out of supply and demand zones. If you want to know more about that, I'll leave a video at the end. Maybe I'll link one in the comments below how I draw all this stuff. All of these bars are drawn beforehand. They're essentially areas of support and resistance, but not quite. Like I said, check those videos out. I don't want to bore you with all the people that have been watching. If it doesn't, I will look at calls targeting 4457, a sell-off through 4339 with signal puts for me down to 4261, which is a demand that was formed on Wednesday. Okay, so if we're looking at the chart real quick, I'll show you exactly what we're talking about there. Here is that supply that I didn't think would hold. And the reason I didn't think it would hold is because it had pretty much gone the whole overnight session and really not a lot of movement. Now, guys, this is the chart for the S&P 500 E-minis futures, right? I'm trading SPY and QQQ are my options, but I'm using the ES and the NQ for my charting. The main reason for that is it trades overnight, pretty much 24 hours a day. So it's not as gappy as the S&P 500 chart, the SPY chart, the QQQ. It just gives me a nice cleaner picture, and that's why I'm charting. But literally while I'm trading, I have this up over here, and then I have my Webull account, and I'm trading SPY and QQQ. So I'm not trading futures yet. I'm just using that chart. And it pretty much overnight, like it's a lower volume, but we will see some movement. We didn't have any movement. And we'd rallied up into it. And like I said, not too many rallies these days. So not confident using context in the market. But I just had a feeling that with that rally, we were going to try and come back out of that. So I'm sorry this isn't zoomed in, but I just kind of want to talk about where we're at here. So here, this yellow line is that 4457 that I would target my calls for. I said if it breaks down below 4339, right in this area, right? This was a demand zone that had been used. I had a feeling that if it came down into demand, it would blow right back through that and come down into this 4261. So those were the things I was watching. I was watching for it to break out or to come down. And if it came down, I was really going to wait till it broke through this zone to see if anything would happen. Well, right from jump, okay, so we can zoom in a little bit. Here we are at market open, guys, and we kind of blasted right up through into that supply, and I really, really wanted to watch it. Now, this green demand I did not have at the time, as well as this one. Those were formed intraday. I'm always adding this in, guys. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart. That's the chart that I trade on. So this was almost like a perfect setup for me for what I want. I had the rally out. It cut right through it. It came back in and tested, and I said to myself, if it tests and bounces out again, I'm going to get long, and once again, target this 4457 zone. So it broke as soon as it came out on this green candle. I entered with a pretty tight stop. I'm not gonna lie, my stop was going to be right down here at the 4388. So I had a pretty good tight stop for a large potential to the upside. It came up, we got ourselves in the green. Now here's where I probably would have gotten shaken out in the past, but I believed in my process and my plan. So when it was bouncing around in here, I did not leave. I did not get stopped out. Okay, the volume was kind of staying consistent. It was low. Like I said, I was kind of happy that I didn't get out. If it would have entered down into the supply, I probably would have got out of the trade. But this is one of those things, like I had my stop, I had to let the trade develop, and I'm glad that I did, because after it muddled around in here on the 11 o'clock hour, it started to take off, all right? And it took off all the way up until about 1:20 in the afternoon. At this point, things started to flatten out, and I had to go to class because I am working. So I actually ended up getting out of this trade right here on this red candle as it came down. I got out for a nice trade. Like 45%, I think, was my total gain on that trade, almost 50%. But it was fun to see. When I came back at the end of the day, I literally almost got it to the exact tick that I wanted to, targeting that 4,457. I'm not saying I'm a genius. All I'm saying is that for somebody that thought that day trading was completely gambling 6 months ago, that's me. And I really wanted to try this out to see. When you look at these zones and you start to learn and develop a process, like I don't have indicators, I don't have any of that stuff. I'm just going by price and volume, and that's it. It pretty much did what we expected it to do, and that it just made me really, really confident moving forward that the plan isn't always going to work, right? There's a very good chance that it would have came up and I would have entered and it would have pulled back down, but that's okay because I would have had to stop and I could always re-enter. That was the trade on Friday. Like I said, just from here, all the way from here up to here. Not a bad trade at all. I was in it for a little bit. What time was this? This was 10:50 in the morning. And like I said, I got out at, what time was that? It was about 14:05. Okay, so 2:05. Not a bad trade at all. This is now into the weekend. Okay, so the weekend is very, very quiet. It shuts down for a little bit. We opened back up on March 21st in the morning. We started to see some action. I had all of these zones drawn in, and I pretty much saw us come up and touch supply. And now this is the same supply that we were in. So I was not sure if it was weak or not. But because it was only in there for a brief time and it hadn't been tested for a very long time, I was like, we'll see what happens. I thought maybe we would rip through like we did, but we saw some negative volume come in, and I said, let's see what happens. I'm going to play a nice quick move. I'm going to get right in as soon as it breaks below 4,457 with a stop right above these two candles right here. And I said, if it goes up there, so there's going to be my risk. I'm going to go from 4,457 all the way up to 4,467, so a 10-point risk. For a potential, my goal was to get right down into this demand. So that's 4,430. All right. So we're looking at almost a 20-point return for a 10-point. So a 2-to-1, I'll take that all day. As soon as we broke down, I was very, very lucky and happy. I got out. I entered. After this candle, I layered in another one. As soon as it started to consolidate right around here, I got out of one. And then once I got down here, I sold at the bottom. I pretty much picked the bottom for this particular time frame. And that was it for me. $88, I believe, was the trade for that one. Let's see. So let's see. SPY. I got in at 10 o'clock. I layered in. You could see some buys and sells. And then I was completely out at 10:21. So 10 o'clock, right around here. And we can look at the 1-minute chart. I don't trade on it, but let's just look at the 1-minute chart quick so you can see kind of more where maybe a little, it's so much messier. You can see that's why I like the 5-minute chart better, honestly, because this is so messy. But see, Dan said, then once we broke through, I got in right here, right at 10 o'clock. And then I was able to exit right here, 10:21. So not exactly the bottom. It was more like right here, 10:21. Still got down. Very, very happy with that trade. The other trade I took today was a quick one, the QQQ, just for $10. So if we go over to the QQQ, I kind of got in after that trade. So we kind of had a lot of downward movement. I got out at 10:21. And then, frankly, I just tried to chase this one a little bit. So I got in here, and then I realized after I got in, I pretty much got out of that one at 10:21. I entered right away. It flushed down. I started to see some more green. I was like, Brad, you're chasing. And I did not want to like give it all away. So I just closed that trade almost immediately. A minute and a half later, it was not designed to do that. That was really me just getting in at 10:25, realizing that I was trying to chase this and then I should get out. And look, that turned out to be a pretty good idea now. If you guys are curious, looking into tomorrow, what I'm going to be looking at came right out of supply, back down to a demand zone that formed. These yellow lines I had in here a little bit earlier, we could see a little bit of support here, back up into supply, and it's been slowly selling off in the overnight session. It's tough to say because on the NQ, I do have a really, really, really big supply zone that's formed right here that I will probably just need to tighten up. If we go to the day chart, it's going to get a little messy, but we can see this is a really, really big demand zone that happened during this consolidation. So now that we're starting to get up towards that, it will be something that I'll probably look to clean up just a little bit and see exactly how strong that is, and something that I'm just not going to rush that trade, and I'm going to be okay with it, guys. Any constructive criticism, please let me know down in the comments below. Let me know if you want me to continue to walk through some of these and let you know my frame of thinking and what I'm doing, and let me know how you think I'm going to finish up March. I'll update you next week at the end of March and see if maybe we can make up that $300 and get in the green for the March. That would be dope. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next video.